Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to share this morning with you. In this morning, I like to talk about our campus, and for doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the University of Guadalajara. This is the mascot, the official mascot of the University of Guadalajara. In fact, it's a black lion. But since these are times of equity and equality, what we see is lions, males and female. And now we have a general rector, and that is a woman. The university, what you're looking at is a picture of the foundation of the University of Guadalajara. This place used to be El Templo de Santo Tomás, and at present only this part still being part of the University of Guadalajara, and is the Ibero-American Library. And if you like to read literature, there is a lot of books on literature. So what happened is that in 1792, we had the fabulous presence of a bishop that came from Spain. We are talking from those times when Mexico was the New Spain. It was called that for the Spaniards. So this bishop came when he was 70 years old. And he, with a great vision, decided to ask to the king to open a university in Nueva Galicia, because this was part of the Nueva Galicia. So the king accepted, and we opened this, what we call at that time, the real University of Guadalajara. And this is very important, because at that time, imagine that the main, everything was in the center, in the capital of the country. So everything was for that city, for Mexico City. But this bishop had a great vision. So he was able to persuade king to open this university, but also a hospital, the Hospital Civil. Because when he came to Guadalajara, he saw it was a big, it had happened a pandemic, and many people from Guadalajara died, sadly. And he decided to open also an hospital. Everything he did for Guadalajara, if you visit Guadalajara, the main traces of this city was thought by Fray Antonio Alcalde, the bishop Alcalde, and that's why we exist as university. So we had this university, and later the university came in a period of openings and closings, depending of liberals or conservatives still in power. And then we had, in 1925, Enrique Díaz de León opened our university as we know from now. And it's the period most stable that we have, because no more closes from then. Okay, so this year we are celebrating our 100 years of what we call the reopening of the university. And this is our building at present in Guadalajara. But the university has been growing up from that time. Okay, that's Fray Antonio Alcalde. This is a picture that we got from Spain. And there is a sculpture that is in the administrative building of the university. And the university has been changing through time. And in 1994, we had a big reform that changed the model of the university, the academic model. We used to work for faculties as the Napoleonic model, but from 1904 to present, we work as a network, because the vision of Raúl Padilla Lopez, he was the rector at that time, he wanted to carry education through the state, so people don't have the need to go, everyone who want to do higher education, go to Guadalajara for studies. So from 94 at present, we have 29 campuses around the state. So it's a big university. This is the second public largest university in Mexico, and in quality is as well as UNAM, the national university. Not only because not only because of the numbers of programs that are accredited for external agencies, but also for the quality of the faculty of the. We have. I know. This is the name of the number of students that we have at present. And this is because we, this could be a little bit weird for you, because in Mexico we have the higher education system in some cases, depending of some universities. So the higher education system depends at the National University in La UNAM, but also in Jalisco, the higher education public system depends on the University of Guadalajara. Okay, so we also have graduate studies, but mainly it's graduate studies is around 10,000 students, and the most is between almost in halves to undergraduate studies and higher education. So this is good at the very end, because we have the link with higher education system. Okay, so I don't know if someone knows the Michigan Stadium, but this number is equivalent 3 times to that stadium. And this is the number that we have in Cupachala. This is the newest campus that the university opened. So, as you can imagine, we are starting. And we opened this campus last year. Okay, so that's why. But when I came, the good news for me is that when I came, I had the half of these students. In one semester, we doubled. Yes. Well, the University of Guadalajara is more than academic spaces. We also have a very intensive cultural life. And if you don't know some of these places, I really invite you to go and to see about this, because, for instance, we have the International Book Fair. This is the biggest book fair in the world of Hispanic, in Hispanic. That is not only for business, because the biggest one is the Frankfurt Book Fair, okay? But in Frankfurt, you only go for doing business, about the rights for publishing, etc. But here, in this book fair, what we have is a lot of cultural and academic activities. So we have spaces, one important part of the program we call Fil Pensamiento, which is the most new on every area of knowledge that you can imagine is there. So we each year invite experts all around the world about different topics like neuroscience, like literature, like equity, like whatever you can imagine, it's there. Also, we have a big and nice public library that it's called La Biblioteca Pública Juan José Arriola. And the name of this guy is a Jaliscian writer, very famous, so that's why he has. And we also have Conjunto Santander de Artes Escénicas. It's a place, a big place with many venues for concerts, theater, dance, whatever you can imagine of cultural world is in Conjunto Santander. We also have Musa. In the picture that I show you, that we have a present, there is the Paraninfo of the University of Guadalajara, and the cupola has the murals of José Clemente Orozco, one of the 3 biggest muralists in Mexico. For me, is the best one. and in that place, originally, those were offices for administrative processes of the university, but at present, it's a museum. Musa, el Museo de las Artes, and every time you can see a very different kind of expositions. It's really nice. And also we have a foundation in the US. And that's why we have activities mainly in Los Angeles. We have a book fair also there that is called Léala, Feria del Libro en Español. And also we have activities in Chicago. So as you see, it's a big university. And so going to Cupachala, I'm going to talk about the regional scope. And what you see here is the lake. In pink is Chapala. And these are the municipalities that are near our campus. And we choose those that need no more than 2 hours by driving to get from there to the campus. So we have a scope of 21 municipalities in Jalisco, but also 3 from Michoacán. Here is Chapala, here is Jocotepec, Tuxcueca, Tizapán, Poncitlán, Ocotlán, and Jamay. I don't know, how many of you have visited some of these places in the Ribera? Oh, that's great. Adelante. Okay, now our academic, concerning our academic offer, we, at present, we only have undergraduate studies, but we are going to open for the next year some graduate studies. But at present, what we have is concerning technologies. What we have is the engineering on development of software. We have animation and creative technologies, and robotics and automatization. Concerning social sciences and humanities, we have sustainable cities, sustainable business, and management of creative industries. And in the area of health, we have psychology of the community, and nursing and gerontology. So we have 9 careers. All of them has students at present. What I think is that our academic offer is pertinent and innovative, which means that is related to the social needs of the locality. For the University of Guadalajara, it's very important that the programs that we offer has to do with the region in which we are working, and also are innovative, because these programs are very different. The majority, except for the health area, but the majority of them, as you can see, is the mix of or the intersection between knowledge areas. For instance, sustainable cities is at the intersection about architecture, urbanism, and design with technology, with sustainability, and with public policy for these professionals to design cities that meets all the standards of sustainability and technology, and that really respect the regulations for being sustainable. So it's new, this kind of offers at the university. Our academic model, the most important for what I already mentioned is that our model works in a way that is multi, inter, and transdisciplinary. And we have three main areas of knowledge: technology, health, and social science and humanities. And the intersection, for us, the most important thing to take care in this intersection is sustainability. That's why some of the careers has the name in the title. And that's why we say from the area of humanities, arts, we have creativity, and from the area of technology we got some innovation, and for health, well-being. And this is from where comes our slogan, that is in Spanish, creatividad e innovación para el bienestar, creativity and innovation for well-being. And this is something that we talk about with our students, that is important not only study to have a good way to live they themselves, but also to apport, to contribute to the community. So in our model, what we do is to put in the center of the most important thing in our academic lives, the lake of Chapala. And this wonderful lake has many troubles, as you may know. If we talk about a list of each lake could have 19 types of troubles. Chapala has 16. Okay. Contamination, asolvación, I don't know how to translate, I don't even know how to translate it in English, asolve, I don't know. Eutrofización, etc. But this is a very ancient lake. Do you happen to know how many years this lake has?
Millions.
7 million. Yes, 7 million. So it's a very ancient lake, and this lake used to be so big that in the map that I show you, it used to take part of Michoacán and part of the south of Jalisco to La Laguna de Sayula, if you heard about. It was so big that when the Spaniards came, the maps wrote Mar Chapálico. Mar, as a sea. Yes, but it's sweet water. Well, in this way of working is that we have, for instance, this career on business, sustainable business. We have the core learning of this career is what every student of this that is going to work for business needs to know something about economics, administration, finance, marketing, management, and of course sustainability. But they have the opportunity to share subjects with other departments of the other knowledge areas. So if a student wants to do a business for recreation, he take subjects in the Department of Art, Culture, and Humanities. If he wants to do business online, he takes subjects in the Department of Technological Innovation, and so on. So they have the opportunity to focus in their interests they have, and they have the chance to take subjects all around the campus. Mm-hmm. And we have this, no, sí está bien. Ajá, gracias. We have this, the World Economic Forum published what they think is the most important skills that students, the today's students, should develop. Yes or yes. And the interesting thing is that they talk about like core competencies, those that means how students approach the challenges of their environment. And also foundational literacies. That means how students apply these core skills to everyday tasks. And another thing that is very important is the character qualities. That is the way how students interact in their changing world. And this has to do more with what you may have heard about the soft skills. And it's the way that we react in front of the many situations that demands collaboration or conflict that we need to solve when we are working, etc., etc. So we take this. This is the most, for me. This is that I work in an office that was in charge of the old careers at the University of Guadalajara a few years ago, and I've learned a lot of competencies. And for me, this is the most concrete and important scheme of abilities, because these are for sure the most important abilities they need to develop. And when we are talking about literacies, we are talking about digital literacy. That means not only know how to navigate on the internet or found information, but also have the critical thinking to discriminate among fake news and good news, and knowing about the quality of the source of this information, and having a critical view of having clarity of who is my speaker, what is the epistemology of this speaker, etc., etc. So in our basic formation, no matter what career they are taking, they have these subjects, that is knowing about the global problems like migration, wars, gender equity, etc., and skills of the 21st century, that is about literacies and abilities. And they do this in a metacognitive way. That means they know what means digital literacy. Means this, okay. And then they got a test for them to evaluate their ability. So they say, okay, I'm in this way, okay. Then they got a challenge. And then they go back to reevaluate themselves, this ability. To see, maybe they thought they are so good in something, but now, or they thought they are not good in something, but they are, okay? And we have this literacia cultural y cívica, that means having being aware about their environment, their legacy, cultural legacy, to know, for example, that we have this wonderful lake and that we need to preserve them, that we have cultures, ancient cultures, that this is a sacred site, for instance, for viralitaries, etc. En académica y digital, en numeracidad, that means numbers. Adelante. And we have, in our curriculum, we have 4 weeks of work in their subjects, for instance, math for engineers, but then they stop in 1 week, they have integral formation. So they learn about history, literature, whatever you can imagine, and then go back to these matters, and then another. So in the semester we have 3 semanas de formación integral, that's what we call in Spanish, and at the very end we have the last week, we have public evaluation. And we invite people from the society, and we want you to go there to see how they are improving their abilities, their capacities. Adelante. Bueno, I'm going to provide an example of our careers very quickly. And this is for gerontology. And what happened is something that is happening in not only in Mexico, not only in Chapala, but also in the around the world, because 1 in 4 people will be 65 years or older for 2050. Okay, so we in the world we are a population that is aging. And in 24, we are going to be almost 30% of the general population. This is the outlook of the most trends, the trends that are shaping our world. And one of them is population growth. That is a problem because because it's going lesser and lesser. In Mexico, it's 1.8 the rate of population. The population aging and urbanization. 80% of the people is living in cities at present, and migration. And those are the trends. Adelante. Concerning population aging, there are many implications for public health, because it's important to have to detect early the conditions that are affecting population in this time in this period of their lives. Adelante. The World Health Organization has provided a lot of literature about health aging, and it's very important because many people when get in this age they say, no, I'm forgetting everything, I cannot move very well, I'm done. No? And it's not true. What we need to understand is that it's another age, and it's different. That's it. It's different. But it's exactly the same that when we were children or adolescents or other moments in our life. The change is the only constant thing in life. All the time we are changing. And one kid, the baby is falling and falling and falling and falling. So what? The difference is in mind, because they in mind and the community in the community, because when a baby fails, what is the reaction of the community? Oh, and they help. Don't worry. Try again. Okay. And what happened with older people? With older people exists the age chains. That is discrimination for age, and it's something that we don't talk a lot about, but that needs a change in the consciousness, and because it's the only way that we can change how we act around this step of the life. Okay, adelante. So, adelante. Es atrás. Ajá. So, to combat ageism, we need to change the attitudes in society, and we need to address many actions from the health system. That's why a career like gerontology is very pertinent in our time, and it's innovative, because this career is not only geriatrics, that is the most known in the health area, but this has to do with pedagogy, with cognition, with mobility, etc. Adelante. Bueno, adelante. Dale. Okay. I wanna. You are going to have this in the site, isn't it? So you can take a look on this. No, atrás, aquí. Ajá. So, gerontology is a study of the social, cultural, psychological, cognitive, and biological aspects of aging. So, our students do all of this to help people to understand this process and to help people to be well. Adelante. And they work with something that you may heard, that is geragogy. Have you ever heard? Okay, this is the mix between gerontology and pedagogy, because these professionals of health needs to have pedagogy, the proper way to speak to these patients, to make them to understand their situation, and make they start being developing conscious about this age. Oh, this is a joke. Bueno, sí. Bueno, to close, I only want you to think in 3 groups of age: children, adults, and older adults. Okay? And I would ask you, which group do you think curiosity best fits into?
All of them.
All of them. Great. And bad mood? Wow, that's wonderful. Look, we did this experiment in the Plaza Pública de Chapala, and many of older, they think that curiosity was in children and bad mood in older. Yes, but this is an stereotype, okay? But because that's true, we can be curious people all our life, and that's wonderful. Don't lose that. Adelante. Sí, dale. Adelante, adelante. Okay, and to close, well, we are here because we wanted you to know about this campus, that we are an open house, and whenever you want to go and to interact with our community, you are welcome. We are under construction. Our main campus is going to be in El Predio El Cuije, that is in the neighborhood in around the Tecnológico and the Conalep are. And we are under construction, but for now we are in the very downtown of Chapala, in 2 blocks ahead the presidency. So how can we collaborate? I've heard from Michael Nolan. Thank you, Michael, for inviting me, and Dr. Ceci for inviting me, and Greg that made possible this encounter. I know for them that many of you expats have experience in many areas of knowledge. So we can collaborate if you wish, giving lectures or workshops. Maybe someone is a good painter and can do a workshop of painting, whatever. Conversation clubs in English. Because our students, we want they be bilingual, and we provide them scholarships for study. They are studying English, but conversation with native people is the most important thing to really develop hearing and improving their English. Also, donations for equipment, infrastructure, and mobility, it's welcome. And scholarships. There are some associations that they do this philanthropy, that they took one student and they are in charge of the development through the career, and they provide them the materials for studying, the transportation, meals for they to be focused on school and don't have the need to get money working 8 hours. Of some of them work a lot, and I don't know, whatever you want. So for me, it's everything. It's that's it. Thank you so much. There is my mail if you want to communicate, and that's it. So I'm open if you have questions.